Welcome to Quick Strolls, shorter walks with the guests from A Life More Wild. On almost every walk we take for A Life More Wild, there comes a moment when we stop, and a natural silence falls. It's as if we're quietly acknowledging what we all come into nature for, a moment of peace. In amongst the wildlife spotting, the hiking and the mountain climbing, there's a need for a pause, a stillness. Russ Morehouse, who camped on every single Wainwright fell over the course of a year, was full of stories of broken tent poles and hair-raising ascents. But what he loved most about it wasn't the extremity or the drama.
Yeah, and whenever I'm here, I just feel relaxed, isn't it? It just feels like the mountains, you're looking at them, you realise they've been there for millions of years, looking just the same. So everything's in perspective and it makes you feel like timeless, you know. I just really like this feeling of being here in the fresh air and the open. You can hear the birds' song in the background and a tractor still going away over there. And it's just, a beautiful spot, really, really nice. I saw loads of sunrises. Yeah, and you see them when you wake up early in the morning to see the sunrise from a mountaintop. It seems to be different from when you look from your bedroom window, because you're higher than the sun often as it rises, and it appears just like a big red fireball in the sky. Some of the mornings it was really like a translucent, large red glowing object, so not the yellow sun the yellow circle that you think the sun is at most times in the day. You could actually look like a gas giant, this big burning fireball, and you're sitting on the mountaintop looking at that, having your breakfast. You just think, wow, you know, you can see a certain real energy about the world.
Author and podcaster Emma Gannon, who's written powerfully on the need for balancing our online and offline lives, found that it helped to think of it in a way she'd picked up from a therapist friend.
So a friend of mine, Anna Martha, she's a psychotherapist, she taught me this. She said that basically we need 3 mind meals a day, she calls it. So how we need breakfast, lunch and dinner. We basically need 3 periods in the day where we're doing something just for us or just for our minds. So essentially, 20 minutes sit in the garden, have a cup of tea, 10 minutes pick up a book, 10 minutes sit on a yoga mat and just stare into space, like whatever it is. She really encouraged these mini breaks in the day, and that's something I really, really stick by, because I think the overwhelm comes when we don't have any space to think, and I really believe that well-being is about capacity. It's about factoring in times in the day where you can just breathe, and it does give you that stamina to keep going, I think.
While Emma took her moments wherever she could find them, for wildlife cameraman and presenter Hamza Yassin, it was always the same spot. A rock on a hillside, en route to the viewpoint from which he'd been watching the same pair of eagles for 8 years. It became such a ritual, he even gave the rock a name.
Now, we're coming up to my friend Rocky, and there's a special tradition that you've got to do with Rocky. You've always got to greet him, say hello, and give him 2 taps with the walking stick. And to anyone else, they would probably think I've lost my marbles by this point, but this is the moment where I always used to take a break. And here he is. What up, Rocky? How you doing, big man? Hope you're well. This is the infamous Rocky. That's the rock that I send postcards to from Antarctica, and 6 months later the postcard arrives and I actually come up and read it to it. This particular rock is when, as I'm coming up the hill trying to film those eagles, I'll always find myself stopping here, taking a breath. And I realized this is where I'm doing it, so I've named the rock Rocky, but it actually became a moment where you kind of do a little bit of meditation, or you're having a tough day, you go for a walk. Where do I go to? I found myself coming up here all the time because I love the Eagles. But before I even get to the Eagles in the wintertime, I stop off at Rocky. You've got this amazing view looking over to Mull and down the Sound of Mull. And it became kind of my quiet spot to just sit, enjoy life, and an eagle happens to go past.
So there's a little reminder from a few of our guests to carve some time out of your day for nature, for stillness, and for yourself.